Okay, so what we're doing right now is we are going to go low buck LS. So the internet's filled with LS swaps. I have a donor vehicle here. It's actually kind of a nice truck, but it's been broken into. They cut the cats, we fixed that. Then they broke the ignition, steering wheel, column, all that good stuff. This was a victim of Long Beach. We had this down here in Long Beach. It's been robbed over a few years. We drug it out of Long Beach. I was able to fire it up yesterday, ran for a little bit. When I turned it off, it wouldn't come back on because of the security. Pull a bullet out of this one with the transmission, so it'll be a 480 LE with the 6.0. I did find some heads, some LS3 heads, which had the smaller combustion chamber, so we can increase the horsepower. I did order a camshaft Truck Norris. I love the name, but I saw good reviews on it and stuff. It's not a super wild cam, so it should be in that range of that 500 horsepower what we're looking for. So a few things you got to get done in the next 3 weeks. What I'm doing right now is pulling the motor trans, gonna get that out and get it cleaned up.
Good to go up, all the way up. You're clear of the hood.
There we go. A lot of work for a motor, but I kept everything on it. So even the whole wiring harness and ECU and fuse box. So now I'll do some cleanup. We'll get this out of here. I got to get the fuel pedal, or the throttle pedal underneath there. It's throttled by wire. And then that's about it for this truck, and then we'll part it out. Been a good truck. We know it runs. Now it's time to clean up. So totally dirty. Probably 150,000 miles on this truck, so it's probably not the best of, well, they're all high mileage now, so at least we know it hasn't been done much, hasn't been used very much in the last 10 years. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and clean up, strip it down, new water pump, pull the heads off, probably swap different heads on, and get it going. I pulled apart the motor last night, so we pulled the motor out and then I separated it up. So we stripped the exhaust manifolds off. We're gonna pull the heads off. On the LS's, this is a 6-liter. They're very desirable, but the heads that come on them are not desirable. So they have a big combustion chamber, so they lower the compression. So I'm looking for that 500 horsepower range. So I need a kind of a closed cylinder. Less cc's in the combustion chamber. So I do have a set of rectangular port heads. So putting that on there should give me that 500 horsepower range with the cam. So when we took out the motor yesterday, when I took out the motor, I made sure it labeled everything, and I took out the whole wiring harness all the way for that donor truck. So I have enough stuff there to be able to use the factory harness and factory fuse box and be able to make it run. Not the coolest looking, but it would absolutely be functional. So I do have that stuff. This is what 150,000 miles of a work truck looks like. So that's a 4L80E. The torque converter on it looks pretty new, so it might have been out at some point, but I was gonna see if there's a local transmission guy, since it's out, maybe go through it. If not, I'm gonna put it in, and the truck was running, right? This is the caked up 6-liter LS. Double exhaust manifold broken, just caked on, dirty. So everything's just filthy dirty. I was out here last night cleaning it up. We picked up a Harbor Freight solvent tank last night. Dawn put it together this morning, so we'll be able to clean some parts. I got my parts washer over here. We'll plug that in, get the water warming up. On the mechanical side of it, I used to do it a long time ago. We've been doing all the suspension stuff out of the shop because I don't really want to do this stuff for customers. but it's fun. That's my bread and butter is mechanic stuff, so I love that. So anyways, good time. Check out the spaghetti on the wiring harness. So believe it or not, you can clean that up and make it into a standalone harness. You know, probably sitting down for about 3 or 4 hours and deep-pinning stuff. So I may end up going that route, but we'll see. The car itself, I got to pick up some parts. We got factory Jeep Rubicon wheels on it with some Nomad Nittos on it. I don't know if I like the look or not, but it definitely will work. We only got 3 weeks, so there's not a whole bunch of options to be able to go out. So Marketplace, definitely checking out that stuff, and then we'll get it going. AC is another thing I'm a little concerned about, so I got to figure out how to make sure that AC works. That's the number one plus that I have to have, that I want to have, is AC. We're driving across country. I live on the sun out here in Arizona. I need to have AC, otherwise we're not going to be driving that car. And then we're driving it there and back. So cool. No chunks.
Big digger in it right there, but I don't think it's down to a tube.
No. The other side, be careful, thank you.
So you got this down to a, what do they call this?
Right now, that would be considered a long block. And then pistons look good. There's no scoring in here. 100 and probably 30,000 miles on this thing. There's no ridges. Everything looks nice. It wasn't smoking. It was completely messy, and we figured out where the leak was coming from. This valley tray that's up on top was physically finger tight, so it must have been seeping oil and collecting dirt and dust over the last 20 years, and that's what was all caked around the outside. Was a simple top plate right here. They were hand tight underneath the intake manifold, and that just caked everything. But the inside of the motor, you can see right here, is not bad. It's not all carboned up. Looks fine. So we're gonna swap the cam out. We got a truck Norris cam. We're recording.
Okay.
So these are the heads on the 6.0. So the 6.0 is actually a really good motor, but it's kind of a low compression. It's made for trucks. So it has a little bit of a dish piston, but the biggest thing is on the heads. They have big valves, but they have a huge combustion chamber, which loses compression. So these heads, I'm going to be swapping them in for another set of heads, LS3 heads, which you can see the difference right here. If you look closely, in this combustion chamber, this is big old dish and a hole. This is filled in with aluminum. So this smaller combustion chamber makes higher compression, which will flow more air and more horsepower. The ports actually flow more air. So these are a rectangular port, and these are cathedral ports. So by swapping to the LS3 intake manifold, or intake and heads, we're gonna have a power gain. So we're shooting for that 500 horsepower range, 525, right in there. So a set of headers, the big cam, that big flowing air intake, and bumping up that compression a little bit. We're hoping. Main thing is having fun car to drive.
What'd you get done today?
A lot of stuff done. So we got the motor out yesterday. Dalton Hardy pulled the motor out. I was cleaning some parts. Dalton's been on this all morning cleaning up the frame so we get a little bit of paint on it. No sense in putting it back dirty, so we're getting it clean. So if we have to work on it, we gotta get clean. I cleaned the transmission today. This was super filthy. Got that all cleaned up. Good old simple green, brake clean on a cardboard and a brush. So did all that. Got the motor cleaned up, decarboned. I got the cam. I haven't put it in yet. I'm not going to open up the bottom. I hope it doesn't come bite me in the ass. But it was tight. It didn't rattle. It didn't knock. I was able to wiggle all the caps. They felt like proper. So I'm going to leave it. There's no ridge ring on the cylinder walls. Everything looks really good. So we're going to put the better heads on it and run it. So that's the plan. We have the LS3 heads in. Waiting on a couple of parts. We got there's some different stuff to specific. When you go to the LS3, you have to change rocker arms to the LS3 style rocker arms. So I didn't have that, so I ordered up that. So we should have motor mounts and stuff tomorrow. So I'm hoping to mock in the short block tomorrow to check oil pan clearance on the frame. So that's the goal kind of for tomorrow. So Harley picked up a rectangle port intake manifold. So since we're running later gen heads on the 6 liter, we have to change intake manifold to the rectangular port. So we picked up an Escalade intake manifold out of the paper with injectors for 125, 150 bucks, something like that. So we have that route if we want to go. Anyways, that's a tomorrow problem. But right now I'm trying to get parts in that we have to get kind of the mock-up. We're pulled off the shocks today. They're tiny. My Harley has bigger shocks on it than the front of this car. Bilstein makes a set, so I'm gonna try to look for them on Amazon or something and then put a set of Bilsteins on there. That'll help the big old floaty vehicle. The road's super smooth, so hope to not make it running rough. Wheels and tires setup, it's kind of a combination. I had some Nomad grapplers that were over here on 17s. I kind of like the big truck wheel look or a big tire look. It'll ride smoother on the road, especially for this long drive. But I also have a set of 20 takeoffs from Jeep, a set of Jeep wheels. So I did order up some wheels, some tires, and we'll try that, you know, the last days setting up a stance on the vehicle. I ordered gears from Revolution Gear. We did a Detroit locker in the back, basically Eaton locker in the back, and we're gonna go 373. So I think I bitched out. I was gonna go 410, super low, but again, this is supposed to be a cruiser, be able to jump in, drive the Vegas in the heat and everything else, and still smoke the tires. But I kind of want a driver, so I went a little bit taller gear, so 373. It came with a 250 or 220, like a super tall gear. So we're gonna gear it up a little bit, and then on the 480E Trans, I was gonna go with the. I was just on the computer right now. I was gonna go with a higher stall, but since I'm not gonna know how this is gonna cool, I'm gonna go with a stock stall converter on there to try to get as little heat as possible, especially for this maiden voyage of 5,000 miles. So I'm not gonna go full race for it. I'm gonna go with a stock torque converter. Try to keep the transmission temps down and keep the temps out of the radiator. So that's what we got going on. A lot of different stuff.
It looks like a lot of wires you got there.
What's happening, Harley?
What you doing?
I'm gonna try to go the low end cheap way, like millions of people or thousands of people do all the time. Been watching a lot of YouTube. Anyways, you can strip the factory wiring harness and make it run. I want to see if you kid or not. I have an Amazon Amazon wiring harness, pretty cool, for like 90 bucks. It's in there. I was kind of hoping to be able to use the factory fuse box and stuff in here, make it kind of look like just took it out of the truck and put it back in there. So I'm gonna mess around with it for a little bit, clean it up, see if I can shorten it. Worst case and probably best case, which would be the best all the way around, is Holley has their badass fuel injection system. It's a couple grand and then more. For this project, don't really need it. I'm not really looking for a whole bunch of flash, and we're just kind of want base horsepower. So I'm gonna try this route. If I pull my hair out anymore by Monday or Tuesday, we might just overnight the Holley one and go. But I'm gonna try it this weekend and get it going. So a lot of wires. All this stuff is made to run a whole truck. I tagged everything when I pulled it out, and now we're gonna basically depin and limit down the wiring harness. And then the idea is kind of just look like a Vortec, basically have the same running carriage as a Suburban in the old station wagon. What can we do?
Okay, so you look like you've been working all weekend.
Yeah, good time. I came in this weekend. We were able to pick up a couple parts from AutoZone. So this is the 6.0 block and transmission we took out of the truck on last Monday. So it's about 5 days later. I was able to take it apart, clean it up. There was no ring groove, so we used the same bottom end. We swapped in a cam. I swapped in LS3 heads. They're big rectangular ports and they flow more air. Got everything put back together, set it inside, it fit in perfect. I gotta make a cross member, mainly because the transmission's longer, we're running a 4L80E, and then also we're gonna run big exhaust out of here. So shooting for 500 horsepower, 525 or so at the flywheel. So yeah, the intake, all this stuff right here is all factory truck stuff. So on the numbers, the truck stuff flows really good, but it's not hot rod looking. So you can spend, you know, from 500 bucks to $3,000 on or more, making the top look really clean. So like I said, right now, especially for this trip, I'm gonna probably keep it mostly O'Reilly's and AutoZone friendly, so 2003 Chevy Silverado, like the donor truck, so we can use all the same sensors. But by doing the intake manifold swap, there's a couple things they got to change up. So looking forward to it. Want to have the goal is for this thing to be able to do smoky burnouts, be able to cruise down the freeway, and everybody be able to jump in and go drive it somewhere. And if there is an issue, we can easily get parts for it.
And this is the whole wiring harness.
Yep.
From the truck?
Yep, so this is the truck wiring harness in the factory location. This is a little bit different intake manifold, but it is a truck intake manifold. It's just off of a 2013 or 14, a little bit newer than the motor. The power steering clears everything in here, so I can make the lines to go to here. Pretty cool. I think I had a PSC box behind the garage. I don't know if it's good or not. I was thinking of putting that on there, but it's steered fine. We'll see about that. The AC compressor here. So we're trying to get this. This is a different AC pump. The factory one on the truck mounted way down here that was in a way. So we got some little cheap Amazon brackets, $70 on Amazon, and it's a relocation bracket, bought another pump, and gonna make some lines for that. So really still trying to keep it low buck. I think we're still doing good. We'll see if we can get it all going. But a lot of work to be done, and a lot of work was done already. So looking forward to it. Radiator's massive. We're doing AC. Shooting to have it fired up hopefully by Friday. Mess around with it this weekend. Oh, barbecue's ready.
Having some brisket tonight?
Yeah. 5-minute warning. We are at 198 on the meat, so gotta pull it off at 203. So good. What are we gonna eat tonight?
Sweet.
Looking good. Looking good. We did a lift kit on the passenger seat. It's kind of crooked. We're gonna fix it. We got Bilstein shocks on today. All the Bilsteins came over. J.E. Reel got the drive shaft today. Big old drive shaft underneath there. I got to make a cross member for the drive shaft and do exhaust. So tomorrow I think I will do fabrication, radiator mount, some exhaust. Not going to get the whole exhaust done, but a cross member. And then I think that'll go through Thursday. And then Friday I think I'll do wiring, maybe get it to spit over. Fuel pump came in today, so that's what I'm gonna shoot for, and then that would give me a whole week and a half to mess around with. I'll feel pretty good about that, so that's what we're shooting for.
So now you're cut. Now this is right here.
Yeah, so now we gotta figure out some mounts. We're making a cross member, so we're going high clearance. It's called massaging the floor right now. So we did this big old giant W, so the exhaust will come through here. Since there's not a whole bunch of body movement, it is frame on body car, but the body mounts are all done. This floor is really kind of loose anyways. When you sit in the seat, it leans you. So this is gonna actually probably help the floor stay more rigid. So on this side, the floor is a little bit lower, so we had to go up higher for this cross member. So that's what we're doing. You heard the beating and came outside, huh?
Yeah, but I missed it, so I gotta see you hit it some more.
Okay, well, here we got the marks. So it's called stretching the metal. So we're doing that cross member here. On the passenger side, the floor is higher because they originally had a big catalytic converter or something here, and it was a single exhaust. On the driver's side, a little more comfort, but my feet aren't down to here. The seat ends here. This is right in front of the seat, so I don't really care if I'm gonna have a hump there. So we are stretching it with a ball peen hammer. That's what you do, you stretch the metal with it. So, making it fit. Pin in here, we're gonna weld the tab for the motor mount, and then we go a little bit higher, but that's what we're doing. M for Mel.
You're gonna put a Detroit in the back?
Yeah. Eaton limited slip, or it's their gear drive
Burnout gears?
helicut gear.
It's looking more crazy in this engine bay, so you must be getting something done.
Yeah, a lot of stuff done. Mounting the factory ECU. It's gonna go nice little holder right there. Got the truck fuse panel here. I was doing a lot of delaminating or taking wires out, so I took probably about 150 wires out, I think. 3 big pins, took them all apart. Only 3 wires are gonna feed this. We'll see if it works. Got the cross member done yesterday. A lot of the fuel injection stuff done. Just trying to kind of get it set up once and not have to come back to it. So whatever I'm touching, I'm trying to finish up. Hopefully have it fired up tonight. We'll see. Not driving tonight, but hopefully fired up. Take it putter. There we go.
He's running!
Right. Should be fun. Kind of quiet. I did 4 mufflers on there. I wanted to still be cruising, but still be able to hear a V8. So we'll see how it sounds when you open it up. Might have to do some dumps on it.
Still got some work to do, but we got this plate to keep the radiator in, fans, AC behind here. Filling up the coolant right now.
Before we're too hot, we had an AC.
Oh.
That's all we got. We'll get better with the tune, I think. What's the bull?
It does want a bowl. Seems good.
Yeah, so using the factory truck ECU and the factory truck fuse box. So I've been following some people online. A lot of good guys out there showing all kinds of tricks and stuff. So it's been pretty fun. Last 2 weeks, so it's basically LS build or LS swap and build in 2 weeks. But pretty neat. The information's out there and relatively low buck. We're trying to shoot for like a $3,000 swap is what I'm looking for. But all nice stuff. So that's what we're doing. So I didn't dress up the interior that much. It's basically a truck intake and everything. I got the cover. The hood won't physically fit if I should put the cover on it. So as far as it looking like super cool, it's not, unfortunately. But Holly and everybody sells all kinds of cool stuff. We'll really get the bug. We'll swap, make it look a little cooler down the road. But pretty neat. We wanted to keep it kind of a cool looking, like classic look, not necessarily all hot roddy. So we removed the window tint today, buffed it out. Got some period correct mag wheels coming in this hopefully on Monday. Getting ready for a test drive. AC has to work too, so that's something I'll be working on next couple days, is making all the AC work. But looking forward to it. Cool build, kind of a classic. These cars were just junk. We didn't want them years ago. I'd buy them and scrap them out for the motors. Now we're looking for good bodies and putting motors in. It was kind of funny, but I'm having a good time with it.
Beautiful Thursday